Marilyn Monroe, Vincent van Gogh, Kurt Cobain, Superman, Cleopatra, Alexander McQueen, Simone Battle, Aaron Hernandez, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Kate Spade, Aaron Carter, Mac Miller, Avicii. Does anyone know what these familiar names have in common? Well, I'll tell you. All of these are well-known celebrities who committed suicide. Suicide is real and permanent. According to the CDC, November 16th, 2023 suicide statistics, 49,476 people chose suicide last year alone. Conditions like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, PTSD, and substance abuse cause people to be more prone to committing suicide. Not having access to mental health care definitely can also increase these rates and risks. There were 2,660,000 emergency room visits for self-harm injuries alone last year. And according to the National Institute of Health, suicide is 100% preventable. So why isn't it being prevented? We must have an immediate call to action on suicide prevention before anyone else dies. First, we must stop the stigma. We must create an atmosphere that permits people to feel safe to reach out for help when they feel suicidal. As someone who suffers from PTSD, anxiety, and depression, I know firsthand what it feels like to be stigmatized and judged due to having these diagnoses. I've heard the word crazy used way too often to describe people like me. I've been an LVN for over 20 years, and you'd be surprised how many individuals in the medical field use that term to describe their patients' diagnosis, not knowing that I suffer from some of the same exact things. I can't lie. It has had an impact on me at times when I've delayed calling to make a therapy appointment, or when I needed to leave out part of my diagnosis when seeing certain doctors because I was afraid of judgment. Stigmatization must end, and it must begin with us. There's an old saying: when you know better, you do better. When you leave from hearing me speak today, you will know better. So it will now be up to you. You must raise mental health awareness and stand up against stigmas, including the use of the word crazy to describe these conditions. You must do your part to help people suffering with mental health issues to feel safe and unashamed to reach out when they need help. We can't waste another minute, because a minute may be too late. We must hear the call for help. We must provide the help needed for individuals who are seeking mental health assistance and guidance. Several years ago, a best friend of mine lost her son to suicide just after his 17th birthday. He called her to apologize just a few minutes before he completed his suicide. We were at work together when she received that call, but she couldn't get him quickly enough. He had shown signs of depression, and my friend sought help for him, but appointments to see psych were booked 3 months in advance. He was a week away from the appointment she had scheduled for him 3 months prior when he shot himself. I remember the devastation of my friend and her family. They felt helpless when it came to addressing mental health issues. What if this happened to your child or loved one? This should never happen to anyone in America. Where were we when his mother cried out for help for him? No mother should ever have to experience that kind of pain. Help should be available. We let them both down, because suicide, as we know, is what? 100% preventable. Imagine if your child one day suffered from a mental health condition such as anxiety or depression. How would you feel? if you saw them being judged for having these conditions that are beyond their control. They didn't do anything to cause or deserve them, but they continue to be judged and feel ashamed of the way that they were born. How would this make you feel? How far would you go to stop the stigma and protect them? Reality is, everyone is someone's child. Don't wait until it's your child to hear your call to action. Lady Gaga, Demi Lovato, Kristen Bell, Mariah Carey, Prince Harry, Adele, Ryan Reynolds, Amanda Seyfried, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Demi Lovato, Kanye West. What do these familiar names have in common? According to Everyday Health Group, these are all celebrities that have spoken out about suffering with mental health issues. They are doing their parts. Now it's time that we do ours. We must come together to prevent suicide because remember, suicide is 100% preventable.